right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode, our final episode of the year of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I am your host, Adam Smith, with Just the Tips Coaching, and with us, almost as always, unless she kicks me off the show, which almost happened today, is our marketing director and another coach of ours, Jen Waymore. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon for
It is
you.
afternoon where I am. We are doing
Yeah.
another episode here from the Surfside Beach, South Carolina Beach House. And we have a really cool guest for you guys today. This has been a long time coming. We've probably had Amy booked for about a year, but welcome to our show, Amy Flora.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you having me.
Oh no, we are happy to have you. And just so you know, and so everybody else knows, a little bit of background on what we do. On the occasions that we have a real estate agent on the show, and don't get me wrong, the vast majority of our coaching clients are real estate agents and loan originators. But when we have a real estate agent on the show, we've actually done quite a bit of vetting. We've actually been following your career for what's probably 2.5 years. So we know that you're doing good work, that you produced at a high level, and that you've probably got some insight as to some things that our audience would love to hear from you with legit boots on the ground. Um, so let's go into the Wayback Machine here and give us a little bit of background on how you got into real estate.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So it was back in 2000, late 2014, early 2015. I had actually become a stay-at-home mom after a long career in marketing and sales. And I found myself in a position where I was going to be getting a divorce and I was going to be a single mom. I knew that I did not want to go back into the corporate world, and I wanted to have something that was going to allow me to be with my children and give me a little bit of flexibility.
A
We all
little,
know
right?
a
That's a
little.
big misconception, but yes.
Right. Yes, it is. That's what I thought at first. And, I had been in the reunion market for quite some time. We moved into reunion in 2003. So I watched every builder build every single house in that community. And I would go on the weekends and visit all those properties and just dream about new homes and what I would do with each one. And I decided to go ahead and get my real estate license. So I was working two jobs and taking the classes in the evenings while being a single mom. Took me a little bit of time to get through those classes, but when I finally finished, I just jumped in with both feet. I quit my two jobs and went full-time real estate. And God willing, or God, giving, I didn't have to look back, and I hope I don't have to continue, or I can continue to move forward that way.
That's also very cool. But there are a couple of things in there that I think are really important to elaborate on. One is that this is something that was spawned for you by divorce.
Right.
And obviously, in real estate and mortgages and a lot of other sales gigs, we talk about how divorce is one of the psychological triggers that leads to the buying and selling of homes. So
True.
here's a unique space where you hear both sides of it. You actually probably do help a bunch of people that are getting a divorce or recently been divorced. They need to sell a home, buy a home, whatever the case may be. And it was something that was a catalyst for you on the other side.
Correct.
That's really cool. And let's do talk about that. But I also want to touch on the fact that you wanted to get into a line of work that was going to provide you some flexibility in your schedule, some ability to spend more time with your children. But I have no doubt that, I mean, granted, we're talking 7, 8 years ago now, that was a rough awakening for you. That
It really.
the time constraint was more than you thought, especially to get to the level that you're at today.
You're absolutely right. And thank God that I had my parents and my grandchildren's other grandparents to help me. I had, and I think a lot of agents have that misconception that you're going to be able to schedule your time, you're going to be able to work when you want to work, play when you want to play. And the truth is, if you're good and you are successful in your business, there is not a lot of free time, especially as you're learning that craft. And that takes us to, ensuring that you've got a great team of experts behind you to help you run your business, manage your business, so then you can be successful as a parent, a spouse, all of those things, as well as a real estate agent.
Yeah, that's a lot to juggle. There's no question. So, how rude of an awakening was it? I mean, did we realize, holy cow, this is going to be 60 hours a week for the next 2 years if I really want to make the grade?
Well, it was a pretty rude awakening, but I'll tell you, I sat down with one of my mentors, who is still a mentor of mine today, and he told me three things. He said, when you get into real estate, number one, you need to work like you work a full-time job. You need to be getting up and going to work first thing in the morning and working till the end of the day, no matter what. He told me you don't spend any money on marketing until you've got money to spend on marketing. And don't plan on taking a vacation for at least 2 years. And that right there was the big rude awakening. And I had to make a decision. Is this, this career in this path what I want and what I love to do? And if that is, then I need to follow those three pieces of advice. And of course, I decided to follow that advice, and I haven't, again, had to look back.
That's really cool. And now you're probably of the mindset that a lot of veterans are in real estate and mortgages. And if your business is slow, you should take a vacation because it's guaranteed that your phone's going to start blowing up with the minute you set foot out your house headed for the airport.
That is absolutely the truth.
Yes, it's crazy. All right, so let's talk about those first couple of years. And we weren't spending any money on marketing or leads or anything to that effect. How were we generating business?
From day one, my business has come, the majority of my business has come from my sphere of influence. I was lucky that I had been in an area where my oldest had started school and was halfway through her elementary schooling. I had another child in that meantime that was at the same school. We had been attending the same church for many, many years, and I'd been involved with moms in the community. And so when I started, I just made sure that everyone I knew that I was a real estate agent now. And because of the relationships I had with these people prior to getting into real estate, and they knew me, trusted me, and liked me, it really, I truly just jumped in, and it started, and I just continued to build upon, you know, those relationships and growing my business.
Hey, you're hitting all the buttons for us. We talk constantly about how your tribe, whether it's the other people that integrate with your kid's school, or your church and the other people that integrate there, or whatever the case happens to be, whatever it is you're into, wherever you spend your time, those are the people that are going to be the basis of your repeat and referral business. So, yeah, we're huge on what you would refer to as your sphere, but
Sure.
we think that's a really big deal. Your sphere, your contact database, your audience, however you want to describe it, is a really, really big deal for this kind of stuff. And then obviously we just build off of that as time goes on.
That's absolutely correct.
Well, and you've obviously done it really well because you haven't been in this all that long. What did we say, 7 or 8 years?
Yes, going on 7 years.
Going on 7 years. And you have built up a really productive repeat and referral business.
Absolutely.
You're still not spending any money on marketing?
Very little.
Ah,
Very
okay. Well, tell us, what does that mean?
the only money that I spend on marketing right now has to do with all of my past and current clients, my sphere of influence, my friends, those people who have either used me, are referring me, and are continuing to use me in their real estate transactions. I'm at a point where people are buying and selling again. People are buying and selling, investment properties.
Yeah, sure.
But
It's been 7 years. That's the average
yeah,
life of a home, so that makes sense.
So, my money goes into making sure that they're taken care of, making sure that they know I appreciate them, making sure that I am thanking people for sending business my way. And then the only other thing that I do is when a property sells, I send a postcard to the 200 closest homes that make sense. They're vetted. If they've only been in the home a year, I don't necessarily need to send them a postcard, but I want to let people know what houses are selling for in their market. And that has been another way that has been really successful for me. And just catching those couple, few a year that I may not have otherwise gotten.
Except those couple of few years turn into six next year,
That's
and a
right.
dozen the year after that. So yeah, that's certainly a big deal. Okay, but we know the postcard isn't a big ad spend.
No,
We know you're not spending a ton of money
it's
on
not
that.
much.
Right.
No.
So when you say you're, spending money on what's essentially client appreciation,
Sure.
what are we talking about? Holiday gift pop buys, client appreciation parties. What's the scope?
Yeah. Holiday pop buys, sending letters in the mail, sending, different types of savings options for them, coupons, things like that for local businesses. Anything that I can do to, well, one, stay in front of them and make sure that, I am the one that they're thinking of when someone is in need of a real estate agent. I don't want people to forget that that's what I do. But also my other goal is to produce business for other local businesses in our area as well.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Tell us about your area. I mean, we talked about it before we went live, and you're in a suburb of the Denver metro area.
Yep.
Suburban enough that you have chickens.
So I am actually in Weld County. I do live in Brighton, but I'm on the Weld County line. We have a couple of acres, but I'm in the North Range area. I pretty much cover from Thornton out to Keensburg, and Commerce City up to Fort Lupton is the main area that I
All right,
work
so
in.
these are
So
all suburbs of northern Denver, the
yes,
northern suburbs of Denver,
that's correct.
probably all within 45 minutes of the city.
Absolutely. 30
Okay,
to 40 minutes. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And what kind of local businesses are we talking about?
So we're talking about local businesses that are locally owned restaurants, people who provide health and wellness services, gyms. We've got a local donut shop. Any business that is locally owned that is not a major, a major big box
A
corporation.
chain, yeah.
Chain, yeah.
Okay. Well, and who doesn't love donuts? Let's
Right.
be
Who doesn't? We just got our
realistic about that.
donut shop here in Brighton. We've got another one in Commerce City that I work with a lot, but I really just try to partner with them to provide some kind of savings, some kind of offer to our community members so that we can drive business into them, as well as, my face being a touch point in front of them when they get that in the mail.
All right. And don't get me wrong, staying in front of people, top of mind, this
Sure.
is huge because even if somebody loves and appreciates the donuts, they may not be buying or selling a house anytime soon, but they're going to have that conversation with a coworker, a cousin, somebody in the grocery store line, whatever the case may be, and they're going to remember getting that postcard for donuts from you.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So we talk about that a lot, staying top of mind. Of your audience, your contact database, your fear, as you put it, how often do you think you're touching these people? That
Well,
came off totally inappropriate. How many times are you staying top of mind with these people?
well, I'm friendly,
You're
let's see.
friendly, absolutely.
Just teasing. So last year, my clients' contacts within my database were touched around 50 times between email, Facebook, email, social media, um, mail in their mailbox, pop buys, etc.
50.
Yes.
It's almost once a week. That is badass. I'd like to think we do about 40 per person per year,
Okay.
which is really cool. Although our contact database is robust, it's like 15,000 people.
Much
So
larger than
yeah, I've been at this a little longer than you have, but I'm not going to admit how much longer. The gray hair should reveal that. But just a little. So that's really, really impressive stuff. I mean, 50 times a year, social media, email, text.
You know what? That is one I am working on starting this year. We have a new database that we're working with that will give me that text ability. So I will be rolling something out with that this year.
All right, so you're going to run text campaigns out of a new CRM.
Yes.
That'll be a big deal for you. That's going to make for a much bigger 2022, no question. And the one I just kind of want to poke and prod about is that we're not really doing any video, are we?
No, I'm
Well, you
not.
said you're uncomfortable a little bit about
I
it, although you're doing great. Um,
I think my biggest struggle with video, I'm a goofball, I'm silly, I'm not great at being serious. And when I do these videos, I feel like I'm not being authentic. And I have such a hard time doing it because what I want to do is get on and just be a goofball and tell you what I learned today and what happened today in my business. But then I get in my head about how that's going to go. So
Now
then
we're
I
going to polish it and make it
Yes, and then
perfect,
I
and
record a video that does not look like me, that
we're going
does
to have some
not sound like
analysis
me.
paralysis. We don't
Yes,
like the way we sound and look on video.
that's right.
All right, I got news for all of you listening, including Amy. That's how you look and sound in real life.
Yes,
All
I
right, get
know.
over it. So yeah, and I hope that we see some cool video things from you in 2022 as well. I am still having a hard time getting my brain around that number,
No, I got
2022. But these are all really big deals. You're doing great stuff. Adding text campaigns will make a big difference for you, Amy, and all of you watching or listening live or in syndication. Amy can have a conversation one on one, no problem. She admitted it to us before we went live, but that the video is a struggle. And for all the reasons that are really just fabricated in her mind, in all of your minds. But the bottom line is that would you rather do this shit one on one, or would you rather do it 1,000 on one? Because your reach with video, particularly in your database, with what you're already doing, adding another few touches a year, maybe lightening up a few that cost you money,
sure.
because recording some cool video isn't going to cost you anything. That sort of thing may make an impact for you, for all of you out there that can hear my voice or see my ugly mug right now. So yeah, that's going to be a big one. So those are two huge things that you are looking at for 22.
Yes,
Being able to have your CRMD texting, which will make a big impact, is to be able to create all kinds of cool text campaigns. And we do birthday campaigns, we do holiday campaigns, we do review campaigns where we're asking our past clients to write us reviews. Um, and obviously video, that's going to be a big one because it's, yeah, it's a big reach. And please, be goofball, be corny, be
right.
authentic is what that boils down to. And that's what people really want to see, watch, listen to, hear, read anyway. Okay. All right. So that's a big deal. Anyway, I am betting, though, with all these great ideas, with 50 touches a year, with the way your business has been built over these nearly 7 years, that you can't possibly be doing this alone.
I don't do this
Okay,
alone.
you've
No,
got some help. Tell us what that looks like.
that's for sure. So I have, when it comes to transactions, I have number one, the best transaction coordinator on the planet.
Well, who is that? Give her some love.
That is Brittany Manfredi with Summit Up Transaction.
All right.
She is my right arm. And if I didn't have her as a transaction coordinator, I don't know what I would do. I'm actually really lucky. I've had her from day one.
Wow.
And so I really don't know what I would do without her because I guarantee there's things she does I don't know.
I promise.
Yes. So I've got the best transaction coordinator on the planet. I've got I had a wonderful assistant who not long ago had to leave the team. She's an extremely busy mama and had to spend more time with her family, which is great. But I just hired another full-time assistant, which is really exciting for me. That is the person who is in charge of managing all the other stuff in my business that my transaction coordinator doesn't do. Making sure my database is updated on a daily, weekly basis, making sure the emails are going out, you name it. My expenses, that is one thing I am not good at. I'm a real estate agent. I buy and sell real estate. I do not manage books.
I am not a bookkeeper. Here.
I'll manage your money well, just not the business. So they take care of all of that. I have an amazing stager, Aaron Apsmeyer with Apsmeyer Home Staging. I have got an amazing cleaner. I've got a couple of great, mortgage brokers and home inspectors. My husband happens to be a home inspector. I've got a team of professionals that ensure that every transaction goes as smooth as possible. They also allow me to be out in the field and with my clients, showing the properties, going on inspections, making sure I'm walking hand in hand with my clients and everything in the background is taken care of.
And finding more buyers and sellers.
Yes.
That's the job. This is fantastic. Yeah, so you've got a full-time TC, a full-time assistant, and then obviously some additional, I don't know that I would call them, assistants, but they do provide assistance to the things that aren't going to be in your wheelhouse anyway. Can I ask how many units you're going to do this year?
42.
2021 is close to an end. Hit me again.
42.
42. That is a phenomenal number for only being in the business not quite yet 7 years. And I'm probably guessing your business somewhat doubles year over year.
Close to, yes.
Yeah, which, guys, if you're listening, listen to this. That is not that difficult. Whatever you're doing in your business organically to generate leads, buyers and sellers, buyers and borrowers, whatever industry you happen to be in, insurance, financial planning, etc., whatever your organic lead gen activities are, keep doing them. Improve upon them. Do video, do text campaigns, improve your CRM, do the kinds of things that Amy's doing. And then all you have to do is get each person you helped in 21 refer you just one person in 22, and you double your business. And the math doesn't quite go 100% that way, but 80% that way. And Amy's obviously exercising this. She is essentially doubling her business year over year. Boy, Amy, when you get to 80 deals a year, you're going to need some more help.
Yes, that's on the books for this year too. Starting to look for a solid buyer's agent.
Yeah, knew that was coming. That's always the
Yes,
next logical step.
yes.
So good for you there. And again, for everybody that's tuning into us, yeah, a TC, absolutely. Get those logistics off your plate. Save that time to find more buyers and sellers. Eventually, that person can be full time, can be dedicated, etc. Then yes, a full time assistant, someone who can handle the tasks that you either suck at, like bookkeeping, or things you don't want to do. And you can end up in a position where you're only doing the things that you like to do, that you're good at, or that make you a ton of money. That $200 an hour work instead of the $20 or $30 an hour work, depending on how your assistant works out, how they get paid, etc. And then, yeah, you can add to that, which Amy, it sounds like you're going to do in 22.
Yes.
You can reshuffle some tasks. Your current assistant can get some stuff off her plate. You can get some more stuff off your plate, shuffling it onto both of them, and boom, what do you know? You've got more time to find more buyers and sellers. Which is what we're doing here. That's kind of the goal, right? So yeah, this is phenomenal. It's almost like we've put you through our entire year-long program. I'm really, really impressed. Although a lot of what we do is common sense. A lot of what we do has been tried and true, has been proven, so on and so forth. There's some of these great things that still go on in Core, in Ninja, in Buccini, so on and so forth. A lot of great programs still emphasize a lot of this stuff because guess what? It works.
It does.
That's really the bottom line. All right, so give us some highlights that we haven't talked about yet for what 22 is going to bring you.
Oh boy. Well, we've already talked about my new buyer's agent.
Yeah, your new CRM.
New CRM. Our
Video
brokerage.
work. Video work.
Oh yes,
We're
that's
gonna
right.
do
I'm
video work.
doing videos. I can be a goofball and be myself in and let people know what's going on in the real estate world.
Absolutely.
having the full-time support behind me, I think for 2022 moving forward is really going to also give me the opportunity to get out and do the things I love in my community. I'm, really big with doing fundraisers, anything I can do with community support, and getting out there and being around people and being able to talk to people. For me, the bottom line is it's all about relationships, and it's all about, talking to people, knowing about them, knowing what they do, what they need, and then ultimately, it will turn around and come back to some business.
Well, and based on the success of your career and how you've gotten your business and what you were doing before you were in real estate, this is the part of it that you like.
It is. It is the best part of it for me, being, like I said before we got on here, get me one-on-one in front of people and talking. That's where I am my best. And I absolutely love learning more about people, getting to know people, seeing where the opportunities are for helping and assisting within the community.
It's phenomenal. It really is. And you're about to be thousands on one between the video cast and the podcast. So buckle up. And you did great. Give our audience some stats on how they can get a hold of you.
So if you want to reach me, you can call me at 720-530-3848. My website is www.florahometeam.com. And my email is amy@florahometeam.com.
Very cool. All right, Jen, what am I missing? This has been a great episode. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sounds like you're set up for a wonderful 2022, which I can't believe that's a week.
I can't either. I'm not even ready for Christmas.
Right? This is Christmas week. Like Christmas Eve is Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were talking, I mean,
I think it's still a little early to start shopping, but I'll be all
right. That's about where I'm at.
Now, Amy, thank you so much. We know it's a lot to take the time, so we really appreciate it. And your business sounds incredible. It sounds like you're doing all the right things. So
I appreciate the invite. Thank you so very much.
Yeah. So for everybody watching or listening, if you want to find out more about us, you can text TIPS, TIPS, to 63566. That will literally give you everything you could possibly want to know about Adam and me and just the tips. You can get a copy of Adam's book. You can book a free hour of coaching. It'll give you the links to our podcast on Spotify and on Apple, links to our recent videos. I guess in the next couple weeks, we'll start planning Mile High Mastermind and Social Media Day for 2022. So there'll be information coming. If you or anyone you know is interested in being a speaker at either of those events, please reach out to me. You can find my contact information, again, by texting TIPS to 63566.
Very cool. And yeah, Amy, this was, I don't want to downplay it. This was a fantastic episode for us. It's really nice to find somebody who knows the things, does the things, has success with all the things, that can be another voice for our audience because they're tired of Jen and I talking about it. So yeah, it's really cool stuff. So again, thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we will be back in 2 weeks. We're actually going to take a week off. We did do more podcast episodes this year than we've ever done, 42. We usually do about 40. We will be beginning season 5 next. We're booking in season 6, 2023. We're all booked up for 2022. And if you'd like to participate, you can certainly drop us a line as well. Amy, don't go anywhere. I'm going to run our extra, and we will see you guys at 10:30 Mountain Time. Not for a couple of weeks, but we are pretty much here every week at that time with an episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. And thank you again from Adam and Jen at Just the Tips Coaching. You guys have a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.
That was great.